are live. Hello, everyone. Hi, Charlene. Hi, Cross. Good to see you. So, I'm your host, Karl, and your budget Vin Diesel. And with me today is Veuske from Sahacraft.
Hello, everyone.
So, Veuske, your channel is very new, but you've also managed to hit the 1,000 subscriber milestone very recently. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to start by telling us a bit about yourself, like what games you play and how you started, how you got into gaming?
Yeah, okay. So I think that everything started from Lord of the Rings film. I was a big video game fan back then from games like Diablo, Final Fantasy, and the PS1 stuff that I played in that time. But yeah, the film came out and I was immediately impressed by all the fantasy stuff. And just like a few years later, I think that I was like 12 or 13 years old. Games Workshop released Battles in the Middle Earth, which is like the Lord of the Rings Warhammer, let's say. And I started a collection that came out to Spain, where they have booklets, and each time you got some minis and some stuff there, and they showed you at the end of each booklet how to make some stuff, some scenery, in the old school way with lots of cardboard, tape. Also filler for texturing and all that stuff, and I started learning there. And yes, I was like 12 years old. I got a lot of help from my mother back then. She was also into miniatures, not that kind of miniatures, more something like doll houses
Cool.
and stuff like that.
I've seen some
But yeah,
people who do that kind of thing, and the details they make are amazing.
yeah, absolutely. So you can learn a lot from there. And yeah, that was basically the beginning. And I have some of that booklets to show, which it's something like really magical for me, I have to say. And then I also get that book,
Oh, hang on. Oh,
which
that's a
came
classic.
out. Yes, and I just recently get the older one. I get it from secondhand, and yeah, it's an amazing stuff for getting inspiration and learning some basics. And yeah, everything started from there, and I was like mainly crafting all the stuff that they show you from the Lord of the Rings. But yeah, then I get to know D&D. I get an initiation box. It was like 3.5 edition at that moment, but sadly I didn't have any friends who were interested in playing with me. So I had this box. I read the rules like a thousand times. Imagine how fun it will be to play with people, but I wasn't lucky at that moment. And then I had humidities in the my parents' basement where I store everything,
Ooh.
uh, and I lost almost all the pieces.
Oh, man.
So yeah, so I had almost a full Moria diorama set, a Monsul, a modular fortress, Osgiliath ruins, bridges, and because my parents' house was had in a lot of storage space, unlike my my actual flat. So yeah, I lost everything, well, almost everything, and I lost interest in crafting World and Warhammer during some years in favor of MMORPGs like Guild Wars or World of Warcraft and all that stuff. But then at the university, I found a group of friends who wanted to play D&D with me, finally. And yeah, it was super fun. And so then I decided to craft some modular dungeons, just something pretty simple to play, some scattered terrain, and yeah, we played for a few years. Uh, and yeah, it's something that now I'm not as interested as I when I was a child in Warhammer, because for me games were like too many hours, and it was a bit difficult to setting up everything. But D&D was like the game. It was like super fun, perfect for me, and yeah, I spent some years playing, but yeah, then we stopped playing for some years, got into video games again, and stuff like that. Well, then I have to say that recently I was working in marketing, but I had a lot of problems there in my work, and I finally left the job, and I also been really depressed for some months. But I also had free time, and I was wondering that maybe I can use my time not into something that I don't like, or that I have to spend for an obligation, but maybe in things that I love. And yeah, I made an Excel table with all the stuff I like, and I decided to start this hobby again. So also we started playing D&D again with
Mm-hmm.
friends. So I think this helped a lot because it gave me like the old joy and nostalgia and all that stuff together at that moment of life. So yeah, I started again. I dismantled my music studio. I had in this room because I
Yeah,
made
I was going to ask
some
because I see a guitar case up behind you, I think,
yes, and I have more guitars there and a lot of stuff. I still play guitar, but yeah, I make also some electronic music for video games and just like another hobby. But I can go solo loud in this flat, so I dismantle everything. I hope sometime at some moment I can give it back again. But I made my workshop and yeah, started creating pieces. I really started from the beginning again with some really small and simple pieces for my D&D games. And but yeah, then I thought, yeah, it's difficult, but maybe I can try to show what I'm doing or try to make a living. And if it doesn't work, I will have a lot of fun in the process. So why not starting a YouTube channel? Because I already had a good camera, and yeah, that's how I begin with the channel. So I started making, yeah, simple pieces like the like menhirs and like modular ruins and all the stuff, and then
I think I
just
can
like
bring in 1 second. Like this one, I guess, yeah.
yeah, for example, like these modular ruins that are just made brick by brick, and just some coffee sticks and a foam core base, and really simple stuff. But as I had to start over again because I only had like one Moria column and some trees, and that's all that I have from my previous crafting adventure. So yeah, I made the stuff, houses, hills, like those ones. So I wanted to be able to fill a table quickly.
Yeah, but
So
I
so
mean, complicated builds or very special builds are really nice. But in truth, I think these are the kind of the bread and butter builds, the ones that you will use 99% of the time, and the kind that
yeah.
everyone needs.
Yeah, totally, totally. And I think that it's, for example, stuff like hills are one of the first thing you should build if you are new to that, especially in wargaming, because you can transform an entirely flat surface into something that has some strategic component, and so you can play with heights and place your miniatures on top of it. And yeah, I think it's a really nice project. And I also bought the hot wire cutter because it's something that I always wanted.
Super useful.
And yeah, and as I wanted to go all in, I directly bought it and started testing. In fact, those are not the first ones that I made. I made some prototypes, and then I sold it because I made a bunch of them. But yeah, it's one of the first things that I was trying in the channel actually.
Okay, so 1 second. Let's see. Saying hello to Red Dog Terrain, Dirty Basement Terrain, and Mia Geeked. Good to see you. And let's see. I think
Yeah, that's more of a dungeon stuff. So this room is what I built when I was like 20 and playing in the university. It's made of wood. It's really heavy, and it
Wood.
was a huge, yeah,
Whoa.
it was a huge mistake because I have two big plastic boxes full of them, and now I
Oh,
want to
wow.
get rid of it because yeah, it's not easy for storage. It's super heavy, and I store everything here in this room, but I play in the living room, and just these 10 meters are pain for moving all of that stuff. And I want to make some foam ones, but but yeah, something that is in my to-do list still. And also, it's just a room, and the doors are removable and everything else, so you can place one room in together each other, and place the doors wherever you need,
I see.
and that stuff. You have like a quick dungeon.
I like the details you have with the paintings and the food on the table.
Yeah, food I think is made from Fimo, with this kind of clay.
Hmm.
And yeah, paintings that were printed, and then I printed the frameworks with cardboard, and then just glue it into a piece of thin cardboard. But then I saw some people on YouTube that use resin to make the glass, and it's super cool effect. So at some point I think I will try to make better ones.
I mean, that sounds good, but to be honest, resin does sound like a bit of an overkill for painting. I mean, like you could probably use plastic for that, or even PV.
Yeah.
Like, even just a coat of Mod Podge just gives a pretty good depth effect if you want something transparent and shiny.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
that was
I see
from the
your
same adventure.
Lord of the Rings
Yeah, yeah,
miniatures.
you will see like 99% of the miniatures I use in the videos are from Lord of the Rings, because of that collection I made. Because I think that the only other miniatures I had are from some old Warhammer Fantasy that I got many so time ago, and then I had some Dungeons and Lasers new miniatures
Okay.
that are super cool, but I'm so slow painting, so I have like 10 of them painting. I have like 50 more because it was a super nice birthday present from my D&D players. But yeah, I have to find time for painting. And yeah, this is also the starter D&D pack miniatures that I also had. And yeah, that's all my collection, mostly from the Lord of the Rings.
I like
Uh,
the details you've got going in there. The the stuff on the tables and the books especially. Looks like you've done a lot of detail on this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
these books were old, and I made it with balsa wood at that time, and I sanded the edges so to make it round. But then I switched it to Wilox technique
Using the folded paper,
using
yeah.
cardboard. Yeah, exactly. So I have mixed ones. But yeah, this is a way faster method to achieve it, but I also think that it's way more good looking using the cardboard and the thin cardstock, and also painting with ink washes, because with
Oh yes,
balsa wood it's not
it just
in my
drinks up the
opinion, it's
paint.
not a good thing. Yeah, exactly, it's like a sponge, so it's not a good idea in that case.
So, let's see. And yeah, more printed detail on that book over there. That looks really good.
Yeah, the open book is actually printed.
Okay,
It's
campaign.
actually
Sorry, you were
yeah,
saying?
and then it's glued, and that's it.
Campaigner is saying he knows the feelings. He mostly uses 30-year-old Battle Masters miniatures.
Yeah. But the bad thing in my case is that most of my miniatures were really bad painted because I suck at that moment. It's not that now I'm a really good painter, but for me it's a decent result. But yeah, my old minis are like look so bad, and also they like lost the color because I never varnished any
Ah,
of them. So at the moment it was like, it's okay, but yeah, 20 years later you notice the difference. You totally notice it.
yeah. I mean, I think that's the first thing I learned to paint mostly from our gaming club here, from a guy who had been painting for 30 or 40 years.
Oh wow.
That was the first thing he taught me. Okay, so lesson number one, tin your paints. Lesson number two, you varnish your stuff. Never do not varnish.
Yeah. So for me, it's another on to do things list because I usually never varnish, but I think that I have to seal all my creations. Uh, and yeah, so I must learn something from that incident in my basement some years ago. So even it's not possible to have a similar problem here. I think that I must protect all the stuff because I want it to last for a lifetime.
I think the main problem with miniatures is that since people handle them and move them around a lot, you get a lot of chipping on the paint eventually. Even if you
Yeah.
really take care of them, unless all your players are moving around with gloves and stuff. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So it's really different if you are crafting things just for a display diorama
oh yeah, absolutely.
than if you're actually playing with that stuff. So, for example, these miniatures are the main characters of that campaign, and yeah, players are grabbing and touching and moving around all the time. So yeah, it's important to protect them.
Okay, speaking of miniatures and builds, if anyone wants to drop any photos in the community showcase, I'm just going to drop a link in the chat. Let's see, move on to another one. Got something a bit different here.
Yeah. This game was really fun. In fact, if someone is interested in making this Spider X, I took the idea from a Black Magic Craft video,
Okay.
one of the old ones. And then all the spiders. Yeah, I was talking about miniatures. So the spiders are toys actually. I just painted them with a yeah in a cooler way. But they are toys, and I just glue it into a Warhammer base.
Yeah, I'm surprised
And
how many of those toys are really good for that kind of thing.
yeah, there are so many of them that are quite useful and are actually looking good if you just paint them a little bit better than they can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and also I tried to make this spider cave terrain with cotton, but it's it's nice, but it's not the effect I wanted because I didn't find the correct one. I saw some videos where they like split it and it makes a lot of threads, but in my case it just make holes and it has this this looking that it's nice, but it's not resemble enough the a spider web. So at some point I would like to make a spider terrain video, but I have to make some testing and find the correct formula for that because
Okay.
I'm not satisfied. This is good for a house game, but not for a tutorial.
No, I get you. I think most what they use is color catcher sheets from the laundry. You use the sheets. Ah, yeah, actually, Dirty Basement Terrain is saying that it's dryer sheets.
Dryer sheets.
Yeah, and yeah, if you're interested in spider terrain, Dirty Basement Terrain is the guy to talk to. He's our spider guy.
Yeah, so I will have to try it definitely because yeah, this I think it's a really good dungeon, a spider one. I had a lot of fun playing with that. And when you're making a D&D game in a spider cave with a lot of webs, some of your players will try to make something with fire for
Yeah.
sure. And in that game they end up like burning like a couple of entire rooms with all the people they had to save inside, and it was like a complete
Oops.
disaster. But yeah, it was so they had to rescue like a bunch of people, and they end up there like, okay, we killed the bad guys but also the good ones, but there's
Yeah.
nothing, no one lived to complain. So
Yeah. To be fair,
but it
most of
was
the
super fun.
to be fair, most of the games I play in setting everything on fire is like plan A. So I can totally see that happening.
Directly. So I burn all the place. But you don't want to. No, no, just burn it everything.
Nuke it from orbit. So, let's see. Here. Okay, I've got this
Yeah,
device.
I found here where I live a second-hand store, mainly big furniture and stuff like that. But after going around there, I find that they have like a cupboard full of small bits of everything, and it was like, yeah, 30 like 0.30 euros for each piece, or whatever it is, and I came up with a big bag full of things that I wasn't sure for which use I will give it, but I took it back home, and then I started making things like that, because I wanted to make a game in an abandoned sorcerer's laboratory, and I want to make some arcane machinery.
Okay.
In fact, you see these wires, well, that
Yes.
actually color threads. So I make it with a metal pin in a way that the players must figure out that they had to connect it to this machine. It was like some kind of arcane energy generator, so they can put it here.
Okay. Nice.
And I also made those runes that are laying on the floor, just with some cardboard painted, and then I made the drawings with a marker. So and I think it's super easy stuff, but it has a lot to do with the gameplay, because you can make some puzzles shifting it, or you can print a lot of different ones that are pretty similar, and players must find which ones are and how to place it. And it was like a lot of fun, and it's a really easy thing that I used in a lot of my games,
I mean, most of the time it's the simple pieces that really,
that you can use a lot of
yes,
times. Yeah.
exactly. And or something like this where you can, it's always going to be a puzzle room, but you have a lot of different ways of setting it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Lali Camacho is saying, yeah, we made a big mess with fire. But,
Yeah, yeah.
fire is a problem that kind of solves itself eventually.
Yeah, actually, we are. Actually, I'm not crafting as much this last couple of weeks because we are playing Project Zomboid.
Hmm.
I don't know. You're familiar with that game?
No idea.
Well, it's like a sandbox surviving a zombie apocalypse,
Oh,
and one
okay.
of our friends is always preparing Molotov cocktails, and it's like, no, please don't.
Yes,
Don't,
do
because
it, do
we're
it.
usually we are the ones that are dying, not the zombies with that with the fires. It's also always a dangerous playing, you know.
Okay, so Campaigner is saying I would definitely include danger for hooking it up backward, like putting the wires on this thing on the in the wrong word. Oh dear.
Yeah, I also have to say that my players are like, not with fire, but with other thing, are extra. They go super slow just to trying to avoid any trap and never jump in a window, trying to open the door from the distance, and they are always super careful. But well, the traps are are hitting them anyways.
Do you use a lot of traps in your games?
Not a lot, but I always want to make that trap pathway, or that trap room that is completely crowded,
Uh-huh.
because I don't want to overdo that. You know that everything has a trap when you go to a hallway or whatever. But I like to make it the main mechanic of one single room usually.
Okay, so the threat of that single room is enough to make them go slow for the entire
Yes,
attachment.
exactly. Because they are always thinking there is a trap, and it's actually done, but you know, have that they are experimenting the fear that if it's a trap, it's enough for me.
So I have a question. we're talking about how you get inspirations for builds and stuff. But before we go to that, how do you get any particular places for inspirations for traps or puzzles or stuff like that?
Well, I watch a lot of Pinterest stuff, and usually there are a lot of people who make amazing drawings, and there are some of them like Path Peculiar, for
Oh, I
example.
love that. That artist.
Yeah, so he make a lot of trap concepts. He's into maps mainly, but also a lot of traps, and it's a really nice place
For
to
sure.
get
Yeah.
some inspiration. And also in the local library here, I get a book once that it was something called like Tesla puzzles, something like that.
Whoa. Okay.
That they are not actually from Nikola Tesla. It's just like the aesthetics of the book, but they had a lot of really interesting ones for that I used in some campaigns. And I don't know, and then I make my own ones. It depends. It depends. I usually try to get an idea by myself, but if I'm stuck, then I try to search Google, like, you know 20 best traps for D&D and best puzzles or things like that, and you came in a very big list of ideas. And when I find something that I find cool, then I try to adapt it to my game or mix things, and until I find something that I think it works.
Okay, Red Doctorine is saying he appreciates the way that you always think about how to incorporate your builds into your games.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's important because I love dioramas, but I made my crafts for actually playing with it. So I think that playability is something that I always keep in mind when I building stuff. For example, with the hills we saw on the pictures, they are not realistic. They are flat, and hills are not like that in reality. But I think that it's more important to be able to place miniatures, or that the hills are stackable, so you can build a lot of different setups. I think this is more important than making super realistic, because if you
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
make something super realistic, you will make a one piece that it's completely static, that will look awesome, but it's always the same piece. And this is not something that you can do if you want to play games,
Yeah, for sure. At the very minimum, you
unless
can.
unless you have a mansion or or something like that.
No, but even so, it would be very difficult to put miniatures on it, for example, or things like that.
Hmm.
Like you're playing a game and all the miniatures going there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Where were we? It's a more recent one, yeah?
Yeah. Well, this is I have overstock from foam bricks, from the other ruins, and I thought, okay, let's make something that it's bigger, so I can use a bunch of them. And I think that I go a bit too much with the base, but yeah, it worked as a central piece for one of our games. It was a final boss fight, and one of our characters died because they fight an evil druid who was controlling an ant that was throwing rocks to them. And yeah, they didn't manage so well. But yeah, this was kind of fun to do, and I started to make some testing with flocking again, and mixing tea or dried herbs with the static grass, because I think it's a cheap way to have more grass, and also it gives some variation,
Oh, yeah, for
that it
sure.
makes it more realistic. But well, now I'm playing with some sponge foliage also, and mixing all that stuff together. I think that for flocking, which is really nice, is to mix different stuff, so it has a nice amount of variation, so it makes it more
Like
realistic.
layering the textures and so on, yeah?
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay, I see that Scattered Terrain has joined the chat. Hello there. Yeah, one thing I was experimenting with recently is using actual soil for the ground textures and then layering more flock on top of that. It seems to be working out pretty good. But yeah,
Hmm.
tea leaves and herbs and stuff are always a great option for this.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, there are many options out there. So I remember when I started in the hobby that static grass, at least here, was super expensive. And I was like, okay, let's use just a bit. But yeah, now I think it's cheaper, and yeah, you could use those mixes for making even more chipping.
Okay, Secretary is saying that's very convincing ground cover. It does look great.
Nice. So yeah, I think that for me, I think also that for making this coverage or grass or whatever, it's really important the paint layer you put behind all the grass and all the flocking,
Like the brown
because
layer
at
kind of
the
thing.
at yes, and this is not that crowded. But even if you make something like it's full grass,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important the paint job you put on behind of that, because even if it's so dense, you will be able to see something. And I think that it's important to make a realistic ground first, even if it's brown or green or whatever, but not just putting a base color and then flocking. But I think that it's way better to work a bit more on that, just like doing some several dry brush layers, and when you have like a realistic ground, then flock on top of it, because at the end it's how it works in nature. And I think that if we try to recreate this kind of stuff, you will achieve a more realistic result.
No, I totally agree with you, especially because what you want to do, like you did here on the stairs, for example, on this ramp or stairs, the places where people would be passing through, the grass would be a bit messed up. You should be able to see some of the ground. So it's not
Hmm.
it's not realistic, as in we're not going for photorealism, but you did add details that make sense there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a balance at the end, so between playability and realism. But if you can do something or add some detail that adds more realism to your piece without compromising the playability, then go for it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, actually, let's go back to this guy. Okay,
Ah, yeah. So this actually is I followed the Wilox tutorial for this
the
beholder.
ping pong ball beholder.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was amazed with that. Actually, I had to say that for this comeback to the hobby, Wilox videos were the ones that inspired me the most, because I had the feeling that he achieves a lot with really simple stuff,
He's a
and
great
this
guy.
is
Yeah,
so good.
and
This is super good.
to be honest, I think between Wylock, Black Magicraft, and Tabletop Witcher, for example, Black Magicraft and Tabletop Witcher tend to do these very beautiful, elaborate builds, which they explain them very well, but I think to an absolute beginner they can be very intimidating.
Yeah, totally.
But Wylock is like,
Totally. For me are still intimidating at sometimes. I've recently watching a lot of tabletop witchcraft buildings, and I'm
I mean,
super impressed with
no, I love
with
his work.
everything this guy builds. It's the amount of detail he's able to put in his buildings. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, I really respect the guys and I really love their work. And most of the time, what I can take out of their videos, for example, is this thing here, because there's no way I'm going to build that airship, for example, or that Colosseum. But
Ah,
why?
yeah, yeah. That
But
was
uh,
extreme.
but Wylock, on the other hand, is like, okay, grab your cardboard. We're going to do this one thing today, and it's much easier to follow.
Yeah, and I think it's good that you have both types of crafters
Yeah,
on
absolutely,
YouTube,
absolutely.
because there are so many people uh, that are not crafting and just are watching because they are getting entertained or that they find that stuff beautiful. Then on the other hand, you have a lot of crafters who are improving or are looking for inspiration. And then you have that part of people that who is really interested in starting, don't know exactly how, and they see these amazing builds, but yeah, as you say, they are intimidated. And that is so nice that there are channels that are more friendly with that people, so that is like, okay, you are new, just try these easy things with easy materials and easy tools, so you can start now, go to your kitchen table, grab a couple of tools and try something.
Get some cardboard from the garbage bin, and you can start. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Also, a nice thing from that picture you're showing, it's
Hmm.
that I used also some Lego stuff. You can see the at the left this chest. It's just
Okay.
yeah. This one is a Lego chest, and I have some more of them. If you have some old Legos, you can use them in your dungeons.
I was looking at the scene, and it didn't even realize that there are the pegs on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, another super detailed bookshelf. I see that you like to stuff your bookshelves like this. So, yeah, it looks
Hmm.
really good.
Yeah, these ones are the in the Wilock style, as I said.
Uh-huh.
The other ones were the balsa wood ones, and these are the cardboard. I make like 150, and I have a box. So my idea is to never have to make it again. And now, if I need some books, I had some prepared ones, and that's it. Because I think it's really important to make batches when you are making these kind of things.
Oh yeah,
It's
no
the
kidding.
same with the same with potions, for example, or yeah, the small stuff that you use a lot of times.
I think you made a video recently about. Did you release the video, or were you going to release it about making potion bottles? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's also another super easy craft that anyone can try, and you don't need a workshop or fancy stuff. Just like a couple of beads, a toothpick, and some glue.
I had a different way of making potion bottles, and it involves fire. So yeah, maybe let's keep that away from your players.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh yes, okay. This was one of your more recent builds.
Yeah, yeah, because as I said, I started by the simple stuff, but yeah, then I get a bit more confident and I decide to make larger pieces because yeah, I had like the modular ruins, hills, and all the stuff for building like the base of a gaming table. I also make a bunch of houses, but I wanted something like yeah, bigger and that can be like a centerpiece. And I also wanted to try some techniques with that. And yeah, it was super fun. It was also tedious because all the bricks, the brick masonry is one by one brick. So I made the structure with foam core and then put all the bricks together and then fill out with filler. So I didn't count them, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was
you don't want
quite
to
quite some time.
count them. It just makes you go crazy if you do that.
Yeah, yeah. So just I just put some music and spent some hours doing that. But yeah, I was like pretty happy with the result of this building. Also with the colors. Yeah, the singles are made with cereal box cardboard. But then yeah, I tried to make it just like a bit cartoony for the colors because
Mhm.
I wanted to recreate a bit of World of Warcraft feeling with
The blue
the
roof,
roof
yeah.
color. Yeah, and the top of that, well, it's kind of a chart. Yeah, this is Lego. also. I had this piece and it was like, okay, this is perfect. I have
Interesting.
to use it.
Okay.
And I think that another thing that I find interesting with these crafts and some others is to making templates. I like to make it for myself. It's a really nice way to make the pieces more consistent than drawing every time. But I also like to give it in the YouTube videos. So I think that yeah, it can be difficult to start architectural buildings when
Hmm.
you are starting out at this hobby. But I think that maybe I can encourage some people to start buildings with the templates. So I think
It
it's a
also it
nice.
always helps. I think that's a very good point. Okay. Did
Yeah. S- so I think that for that building it was a shitload.
Okay, let's go to this one. I think you did not want to use individual bricks on this one, I guess.
No, 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 no. This is texture, but it's also texture by hand with a pencil.
It also takes time. Yes.
Yeah, it also takes a lot of time. And I think this is one of my favorite pieces from the channel by now because it's super modular. And actually, I built it in just one weekend. Then I spent some more time painting and drying. But I really like that you can making modular sets because you can put it like this or in a completely different way. And yeah, you can recreate a lot of different environments. You can it will also be like a ruined overgrown temple, but
Hmm.
I think that modular stuff is super nice, especially if you have limited storage space, like it's my case.
Yeah, I mean, you can set it up in 100 different ways, and it looks good.
Exactly. And I really love stuff. One of my favorite YouTubers in it's RP Archive.
Yeah.
He made things that are modular as hell, but I also find it quite difficult because if you start making things in a very closed system, you will be always have to stick to that in your new buildings. So I find that it's super nice to watch, and all this his stuff it's amazing. But I think that it wouldn't work for me because yeah, then if I have to make a new piece, it's okay, how to make it that
It has
it
to fit in
could be
that.
used
Yeah.
with all the other ones. And I think it's a lot of he puts a lot of effort in planification, and I prefer to, okay, I want to build an overground temple, let's see how I think of it, and I just do it. And not I don't want to spend so many time just thinking how it will be.
Yeah, I mean, in our Archive's case, I would say that he found a system that works well for him, works on that system, develops it, and that's fine. But I mean, people who like me, for example, or from what I see, like you as well, you like to today I want to do this, today I want to do a different system, today I want to do that. It's easier to look at what he's doing and learn the concepts and then go from there.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I
So
mean,
at the end, each crafter has its own techniques, its own preferences. So it's like a whole world at the end. So you're crafting that. You're crafting like a world, or at least it's like my objectives to have everything I need or wanted to recreate the world I'm creating. Because in my I love world building, and I love the Faerun and Forgotten Realms settings and all that stuff. But I want to create all my own stuff, and yeah, I want the stuff that recreates all the world that I have in my head, but in the table.
yeah, I mean, there are hundreds of different settings out there, and new ones keep coming out all the time. But there's always space for more. That's
Yeah.
good.
And also, of course, the statues are made from Lord of the Rings miniatures.
There we go. I got to say, I really like the color of the stonework on this one.
Thanks. And yeah, this project was super fun.
Okay, let's see some animal skins.
Yeah, this is a super simple one, but it's quite nice because you can give a nice atmosphere to a room just placing a couple of them. And it's also a craft that, well, without counting drying times, you can make in 10 minutes, let's say.
You can just leave them to dry then, and you're not worrying about them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
very.
I also made templates for that.
It is good. You know, planning builds is something that I never really got into. I just start cutting and gluing stuff and forget about it.
And see what came
Yes.
to. Well, I sometimes make that, depending on the feeling.
Okay. Oh, hanging
Yeah.
spider costumes.
Yeah. So this game, my players thought that these hanging sacks will be like something like spider eggs or something, but they just stabbed all the sacks, and it was actually like
The prisoners.
the
Oh,
other adventure straps. And yeah, everything that could went wrong in that game went wrong.
ouch. Okay, we have some comments here about this one. One second. So let's see. Yeah, campaigner is saying those statues would definitely animate and start attacking him.
Yeah, that this is a classical one.
And Scattertain is
You're never safe in around a statue in Dungeons and Dragons.
Scattertain is saying that magic marble is a nice touch.
Ah, yeah, but actually isn't glued there. You
No?
can put no. I use them a lot because I have like 4 or 5 marbles like that and 4 or 5 bases. So you can make puzzles with that, or I put the
Oh, okay.
marbles in, hide it in some rooms around the dungeon, and the players have to find all the marbles and put it to the bases or whatever. But I prefer to leave empty this shrine part, because you can put a staff, or you can put this marble or whatever, so it gains more modularity, choosing the object you can put in the centerpiece.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Nice. So let's see, apart from crafting, you also do a bit of writing and drawing, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
excuse me, I didn't hear you well.
I'm sorry, I said apart from crafting, you also do quite a bit of writing and drawing, right?
Ah, yes. Yeah, well, as a side project, I made some one-page adventures, usually based on the ones that I played in on my table, but yeah, really condensed. I have like a couple printed here. So I made these pamphlets where you have, yeah, you have maps and some puzzles and descriptions, and I have another one here. Sometimes I draw the maps, and like this one, and sometimes I make some pixel art. And yes, something that I like to make, and then I have it forever. So I publish it for free. Um, and yeah, it's also like something that reminds you of the games you played. And it's really cool
Oh,
because with data dungeon master, so I don't give enough information for make an entire game, but with those one adventures you can just fill the gaps and add some more of your own. And then it's fun because sometimes I speak with people that, just a very few, but that have run these adventures and made it with a really different way that I should. and you learn a lot with that. And they came out with came out with ideas that you never thought, and it's super nice. And yes, all the adventures and the maps are based in the world that I'm building for my campaign.
Oh, okay. But I really liked what you said about it being kind of like a souvenir of games you played.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, these pictures are really well done. The illustrations are really well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really fun to make, but at the other side, I'm not that patient for drawing detailed stuff. So it's really hard to sit down and actually start drawing. Then when I start, I need to finish stuff. But yeah, and I draw it at the rhythm the party is reaching the new towns. So usually I wait, and when they say, "Okay, I want to go to this town," it's okay. I will draw it for the next adventure.
Okay, so you don't need to draw an entire continent right
No,
away.
no. In fact, one of the maps is the region map. You can see all the
Let's
towns
see if I
there.
can find this
Is
one,
the
the
yeah the Mist
Mist Coast.
Coast? Yeah, exactly. So this is where we are mainly playing. At some point they will travel to another place, but now there is a lot of stuff going on here. So yeah, when they reach a new destination, I try to draw them up, and that's it. And yeah, it's really nice to draw maps, but it also takes a lot of patience, and you have to make really repetitive stuff, which is a bit difficult for me mentally,
How do
because
you
I want
how do you draw these paper and pencil or paper and ink, or do you use an application?
it's no, it's I use paper, pencil, and then ink pens from various gauges, and then I scan the drawing and add some shading using Photoshop. Like for example, those gray parts in the water or the mountains
I
are
see. Okay,
I added after drawing it.
so the
And
traditional way, kind of nice.
yes. I'm not a huge fan of drawing with a tablet or in the computer, and I'm not very good at it also. So yeah, I prefer the feeling of and the relaxing feeling of drawing with some paper and pens and in the old way. Then the bad thing is that then I make some mistakes, and I can and when you have made a mistake, you cannot solve it if it's in using ink. But then it's like some stuff that I have to deal.
Then we can just do what Bob Ross said. We don't make mistakes, only happy accidents.
Yeah.
Okay, scatter terrain is saying the effect of the raised cliffs is great.
Yeah, I have to. I learned, as I mentioned before when we are talking before this, the live started, from a channel from JP Kubert, which is an amazing drawer and also a YouTuber, and he makes a lot of stuff like Dungeons and Dragons adventures, and he draws miniatures, paper miniatures, and all that stuff. And I start learning how to make maps from there. He has like way more cartoonish style, but it's super amazing, all the stuff he made. And then I just try to give it my own spice,
Hmm.
which I'm really inspired in fighting fantasy and all that
Oh, I
old
remember
fantasy.
those.
Yeah, I was obsessed when I was like 12 years old.
Same,
I was
same.
obsessed with that books, and also with the illustration, and that's why I try to achieve. I'm not very good at it, but I try to recreate that old school feeling. I usually love all the old school stuff, even if it's video games, books, illustration. For example, I'm in video gaming stuff. I'm a huge fan of old school shooters
Hmm.
like Doom and all that stuff. And I have like some kind of nostalgia that in fact, was like 2 years old when Doom came out, but I have like this nostalgia feeling. And I think that with Dungeons and Dragons, all these fantasy artworks and illustrations, it happens to me the same way. That I have this nostalgia, even if I didn't live that times. For example, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons on Hero Quest and games like that. I don't know. I feel something when I see that kind of games and fantasy stuff that yeah that makes me full of joy, you know. And I try to recreate it a bit.
Yeah, and the thing is that the artwork in 70s and 80s games did have a much more feeling to it, and today it's the illustrations are very pretty, but sometimes they're a bit over the top or very
Great nowadays is that with internet and with easier access to computer tools and a lot of stuff that it's out there and it's cheap or even free, you have a lot of tools for building stuff, and there is a lot of indie games out there that are pretty awesome and that has this soul in it because are made by people that love and enjoy that stuff. So
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that yeah, it's kind of you have the both walls, that big games, and it even happens a lot of in video games that big company games and triple A super big budget projects uh, that yeah usually are good, but are made in the with the money or making money and profits in the mind. And then you have a lot of people that are just doing stuff because they enjoy it. And I think, for example, you and I are one of them that are doing stuff, recording videos, or for example, I'm publishing adventures just because I like doing so.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then you came out to and find really interesting stuff. The thing is that there is so many stuff that sometimes it's overwhelming.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did like some of the smaller indie games that were coming out in the 90s, for example. But then you've got people are still publishing indie games and the settings today all the time. It's like just you have to pick and choose. But yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it's difficult because you have so many good stuff out there, even it's games, board games, role-playing games, or whatever you like, that it's difficult because you have to choose what you will not play or consume.
Yeah.
And it's a painful decision sometimes. It's for example with crafting, the thing that I build fantasy stuff, for example,
Hmm.
but I love sci-fi. I love post-apocalyptic stuff like Fallout or even or zombie stuff and many different environments. But I'm not able to. I don't have time, money, and space for building all the stuff and came out with friends and playing all the different environment settings and rule sets. It's impossible. So I have to choose, and at the end I choose fantasy, but I love all the different ambientation, and yeah, it's a painful decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're saying earlier, uh, even the storage for that kind of thing is impossible. We have to choose.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any projects coming up, like any big projects? I know you just finished building a ship, which was
Yeah, the ship was
pretty large.
quite painful. Not for the crafting. The crafting was so nice to do, but it was painful for editing the video
Oh, why is that?
because I went on holidays and then I wanted to make it super fast, and I spent like some days just editing, and I went burnout, and I have to stop and do some other things because it was impossible for me to continue. But yeah, I have some things in mind. I'm actually building a watchtower which is not on my maritime series. But yeah, I think I need a pause from that because I wanted to make some modular docks, and I wanted to make to be modular and to have lot of different pieces and setting ups, and I think I need a lot of planification for that. So meanwhile, I'm building this watchtower, which is a more friendly project, let's say. I actually wanted to make a one in my house's video, but
Hmm.
then I realized that it was too much, and well, I waited till now, and now I'm using a lot of different techniques and trying stuff. I usually, for example, make wood with actual wood, like balsa wood
Right.
or coffee stirrers or stuff like that. And this time I'm trying to make everything with foam because it's cheaper for me to get it. And yeah, I'm trying things, and I also some nice people that are commenting me in my videos help me just with ideas and how, for example, yeah, you can use an aluminum bristle brush for texturing wood, try it. And yeah, I'm trying those things and getting some nice results with that. So yeah, that will be not my next video because I'm working on it now. My next video will be about spell markers
Oh, okay.
because I think that that wizards in my game deserve some fancy stuff for
Some special
their
effects.
spells. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So some fire for for their next mess up. So so yeah, I made that, and I'm working with that project. And when I have time and I figure how to make a docks that works with all my water terrain, that I made that big water board. But I wanted to place it in even if I want to make just a line at the side or making it a corner or whatever.
Mhm.
I need to find the correct measurements and everything, and that's it.
Okay, now with regards to the watchtower, I just remember that in 2 weeks on Sunday, 11th August, we're going to have a fortifications crafting challenge stream. So if you want to put in photos of your tower when it's ready, or even as a work in progress, you're more than welcome to join in.
Ah, yeah, perfect.
Okay, I can send you
Uh,
details later.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, we did have a little glitch in the stream earlier, but it seems to be okay now, I hope. And yeah, so more questions about your world building. Do you plan to, sorry, you mentioned you building up this world, but do you plan to like wrap it up and make a finished package at the end of it, or are you still up in the air? How's it going?
Yeah, it's something that it crossed my mind a few times. So yeah, I think that probably yes, because now I'm making a bunch of adventures and all that maps. But I also work on the noble houses of that world, the families and the relationships they have, how the economy is built in there. And I also made shield blasons for all that families, which
Oh,
is
nice.
something more really important in that world. Um, and yeah, I think that it will be so nice that at the end, I don't know when, but to make something that you have everything. Like you want to play in this world, okay, here is everything you need to play it. But it will take some time. I think that if we continue playing and I continue building this world and I finally reach a point where I feel that it's at least, for example, for that region, and you have all the details you need, all the families, all the maps drawn, and a bunch of adventures, more than the one I think actually I made 8. Yeah, at some point, something like a big document that have all the information in it will be super nice. But
So,
it's something
sorry.
for I don't know, for a couple of years to the future, or maybe 3.
Okay, then maybe your beard has to be at least this long to do that. But is there anything you can tell us about it so far? Like, what kind of world is it? Some
Yeah, of course.
going.
So it's a dark fantasy world. Uh,
Oh, okay, good. We like that.
and yeah, that's why also I paint. If you realize, my paint job is pretty dark. I dry brush a lot,
Hmm.
and I try always to keep the base color, the black, from the coating base, because I want everything to look grim and dark. So this
Hmm.
world is mostly inhabited by humans, and although the classical Dungeons and Dragons races are present, elves, dwarves, and whatever, they are not so common. Also, magic, it's something that is there, but it's people don't like it. So, for example, our players are there are a couple of wizards. They cannot show their powers in a village. They will be in trouble for that. And also, even the usual gods are present there. Let's say uh, they are prohibited in the world.
Okay.
Uh, yes, so there is a new cult, which is the charge of the only and true God.
Okay.
uh so this church has taken control of mostly everything, with their religion. So they impose that magic is not good, other races are not, are something to be, like, aware. And there is like, it's not a good world to live in. So I want to create something with a lot of conflict, but I wanted to play the players just to be the other ones, like, they are elves, dwarves, and they struggle in that unfair world, and they have to make their path to change things on how they are. and
Nice.
and that's a bit of the idea. And I take a lot of inspiration in the Witcher series. I'm a huge fan of the video game, and I also read some of the books. And yeah, I like the fact that it's a pretty difficult world to live in. And also, even Geralt in the series, it's a really, really powerful character. It's very difficult to change the things. So
Yeah.
I just try to, I don't know, to recreate this feeling.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I like about the Witcher is that both the game and the books, it's very great. It's like you said, Geralt is very powerful and he cannot do pretty much anything. But it's always a choice of this bad thing happening or this bad thing happening. It's never like a good thing or bad thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So good and bad thing in The Witcher, especially in the video game, is that, yeah, you have to make elections, to choose between things and make decisions, but you not always have the all the information for knowing if a decision is good or bad. And that raises a lot of moral questions in there. And I don't know, I want my players to have this relevant stuff going on in their adventure. So they decide the destiny of this world and how it will evolve. uh but yeah, they are just, like, not normal guys, because they are like wizards and powerful people, but they are not in total control. So I try to make them think after making something, and how this will affect the world, and just build the world from there, game to game.
I mean, it's it's basically how the real world works. You never you're not sure about the consequences until you've done something. You never have perfect information before you start.
No, of course, of course. So the thing is that even if you have a bad outcome, the final outcome of the game is to have fun. And if you get in trouble, you have double fun, I think.
Yeah, I mean, no challenge, no fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I when I played like in university, I love the semi-orc barbarian, which was the character that always was doing the stupid decisions that putting all the party in trouble, and it was the most fun part of all games.
Okay, so the thing is that if everyone is very sensible and stuff, things become very boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to light things on fire? And yeah, Scatter Terrain is saying, I need to get a hold of the Witcher books. If someone had to start Witcher books from fresh, which book would you start with?
I just read the three first ones. I don't know, just start with the beginning, but I have to say that I read a lot that the English version of The Witcher is not well translated.
Mm, yep.
I read it in Spanish, and for me it was like pretty good. The translation was excellent. But yeah, on Reddit I used to saw a lot of people complaining about those translations. So be careful if you are reading in English.
The one I would suggest starting with would be The Last Wish in any language. The English translation of that is pretty good, but it's also a lot of short stories, and it's kind of
Yeah,
easier to get into.
it's more like a day in a witcher's life, let's say. So just following Geralt from here to there, accomplishing contracts, killing monsters, and seeing how a witcher live. But I think it's also really nice, especially if you play the video game series, because then you can see more in depth and more in detail uh, than how is the life in how is a witcher's life, which is not good because in video games you cannot smell the monsters. You are not, you are not with shit till your chest
Yeah,
because you're in a sewer looking for some other creepy creepy monster. And yeah, the books I think that are better to transmit this, because you're not seeing all that fancy combat stuff and all of this, and you are more in how Geralt is feeling at that moment and how stinky the place is.
yeah,
So
especially because he has super senses, so it's even worse.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And are there any other book series or shows that you would recommend?
Yeah, I had when I was yeah, and in that time I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings and that stuff. I had a collection from different fantasy books. I read some Dragonlance books,
No, that's another classic.
but for me, one of the best are the Dark Elf from Salvatore, which is set
Okay.
on Faerun. And then another one that is not well known, it's called Elenium from David Eddings,
David Ings,
I
yes.
think.
Yes,
Yeah,
David Ings, yeah.
this one is really good for me because it has I really like the fantasy stuff, but I really love that involves politics and complots
Mhm.
and all that stuff that are more like from a thriller. And even if it's like high fantasy with a lot of fantastic creature stuff, magic and all that stuff, it's super nice that it has these components, a bit like Game of Thrones and this series, and I think that it has the perfect formula, combining adventures, magic, combats, and politics and threats.
I think it's been a few years since I read it, but I think it had more adventure and less politics than Game of Thrones.
More adventures than.
Sorry, more adventures and less politics than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So why is the reason that I think that it's like a good balance in
Mm.
between. Yeah, yeah. Game of Thrones is full of politics, which I love, but I wouldn't recommend the book. Even I think it's a really good book because I think it's way way too much descriptive
It
for
it
me.
it is very slow, yes.
I it's super well written, but I don't care about 2 pages of Sansa's dresses or describing all the food that is on the table. It's nice, but it's not that important for me, and I prefer going a bit more to the point.
Oh yeah, and the other great thing about the Elenium apart, which Game of Thrones doesn't have, it has an ending. It's finished.
Yeah. That's also an important point. That's also an important point because I think that adventuring into some kind of saga that it's not finished is it's really difficult. But then you reach the last book that it's published or the last game or whatever, and it's like, okay, now I will have to wait a million years for the next one. And yeah, it's nice to complete and finish something you've than living out there and wait some years or never or you know.
I'm sure the Winds of Winter will be published one day. One day.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay, so what do you say we have a look at what people have been posting in Discord because they have been throwing a few things in there.
Yeah, nice.
So let's see. Evolution of Gaming is saying it sounds like he isn't planning on finishing Game of Thrones. I suspect that he finished it already and he's just milking it, just leaving the drawer. Then we need some extra pocket money. Oh yeah, here it is. But
But that will be so evil.
okay, we're starting off with Lawrence from the Dirty Basement Terrain here.
Yeah, his creations are always super nice.
Nice little
And
country house.
yeah, and this house actually has chimney, which is something I forgot in my houses, and I realized afterwards. And I was thinking it at the beginning to make it, but yeah, then you go into crafting and it's a really nice detail. This is made brick by brick, I think.
Yes,
It looks so cool.
some beautiful work. Let's see. Scratchable speakers by Earthman Brick.
Oh
Hey, I
wow,
see a piece of Lego.
yeah, yeah. Lego it's a good ally to have on your workshop. There are lots of bits that you can use to whatever you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
It's a really cool build. So yeah, that's the stuff that I was mentioning because this is super cool, but I cannot make speakers for a fantasy setup. But I would love to. But yeah, I have to choose. So, but yeah, it's really cool for sci-fi
Sci-fi builds,
or
yeah.
post-apocalyptic or even something that is more contemporary to our time.
And I think it is for Warhammer 40k, for the noise minis.
Oh, nice.
Okay, this one is from Campaign Terrain, the updated portal, which we already saw last week, but always very impressive.
Yeah, yeah, so cool. How he made the actual portal? Is this with some lights
I think
on the back?
it's a Skylanders base. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I have no idea what the thing was. But basically, I put in it's this plastic tray kind of thing that's from some
Hmm.
old PlayStation game, if I'm not mistaken. And it already comes with the lights inside, so he mixed it up around and sanded the top a little so it would diffuse the light.
Wow, it's really nice. I also saw on Pinterest that people make some portal stuff where they put their phone. It has like a slot and they
Yes, yes.
insert it and put just like a video loop of a portal glowing, and it's also a really nice way to do it. But yeah, you have to use your phone there. But And this build is really nice, and I think it's really cool for a final boss battle, like the I don't know, the protector of the portal or something like that.
Okay, so Evolution of Gaming is saying Skylanders, they were figures with a chip. And let's see, Campaigner is saying, I got it as Skylanders base, but the lights are Dollar Store fairy lights. Ah, okay, so it's those strings of fairy lights in a plastic casing.
Hmm. That's clever.
Cross is a clever person. Okay, let's see. More from Dirty Basement Terrain. I think we've got Lawrence's Orc Horde.
Wow, so many cool miniatures. Every time I see fancy miniatures, I want to paint mine, but then something comes out that I have to attend instead of painting miniatures.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, this looks really cool.
Okay, let me just bring them up here so we can have a closer look. 1 second, please. There we go.
Oh wow, so cool. I really love this the way they did this kind of Warhammer minis. That they are kind of you know, like kind of cartoony. It's uh it's really nice looking.
Yes, I I think the I haven't seen the most recent ones from the old world, but these ones are definitely still the cartoony looking kind of thing.
Hmm. And I like the especially the paint job for the leather.
Oh yes,
Yeah, it looks so cool.
I think that's contrast paint, right, Russ? Or speed paint? Ah, sorry, Lawrence, I mean not Russ. My bad.
Really cool.
Ah, yeah, he's saying that it's pure slap chop.
It's been with laptop. I need an airbrush. It's something I think it's my next tool for sure.
So I mean, I've never used an airbrush before. I keep meaning to try it, but I also keep putting it off. One day, one day.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that is ferocious looking horde lords. Okay, next one up is Earthman Brick, who's got a very pimped up TT Combat cinema. Coming up, excuse me, that opened up in the wrong window. On, there we go.
Oh wow. This is super cool. It reminds me a lot of The Last of Us.
Yes, yeah, same kind of thing
Yeah,
with the
with all
vegetation and
the
the things, yeah.
yeah, everything's super overgrown and all the rust. And I really love the fences. Yeah. They are super cool with all the barbed wire.
Now, I'm not sure about this screen, but he had been mentioning it a few times, talking about putting a miniature projector inside the projection booth. So I'm not sure if that's what he did over there, but it really looks like it.
Oh wow, this is a super cool idea.
Yeah, that's some lovely work there, Steve. It's from Earthman Brick. So let's see. I think we've got quite a lot of stuff from Black Boss. Just going to pick a few this time because I have a feeling that we'll be seeing these again very, very soon. So coming up.
Oh, this one is in progress.
Yeah, nice little cardboard building.
I think it's super cool to continue the making cardboard things because nowadays it's pretty common to use foam, and I love foam, but you can create a lot of amazing stuff using cardboard. And well, it's like complete almost free if you
Hmm.
have cereal boxes and stuff like that, and it's perfect for building houses like that. And you can make a really complete board game in just in few time.
Oh.
Yeah, another one that don't forgets to change.
Yeah, the other thing about cardboard, for example, is that it's not all or nothing. For example, what he's doing here, he's building a cardboard structure and then he's putting foam over the top.
Hmm.
So, I mean, rather than using foam board, for example, cardboard is a perfect good alternative.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
My goodness, that a Pac-Man board game back
Wow, that's super retro.
there?
So cool.
Yeah, I mean, his workshop does look like an amazing place.
Yeah, there is a lot of interesting stuff out there.
Ooh,
That
okay.
a lot of things that I'm not sure what they are, but it looks cool,
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
and that I wanted to know more about it.
Okay, next one up is from Quest Portrain, who's also making something for the fortification challenge.
Wow, that's really cool.
And yeah, we've got a battering ram going.
I really love this kind of stuff, like for made for sieges and battles, because yeah, it was the my base when I started, because yeah, now I'm more into D&D adventures and that stuff, but recreating great battles with a lot of war machinery like that, it's super super nice.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with the Middle Earth strategy battle game, especially, you've got a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah. So I had a smaller one that this was it was the Uruguay ones from Helm's Deep, and then you remember I mentioned that I had a modular fortress that
Mm-hmm.
it spoils up, but I have a broken wall. Just for the Urukais, place the bombs,
Oh, okay.
and then switch the normal wall with the broken one, and recreate that moment. But yeah, this stuff is pretty cool, and it's amazing what you can do with just coffee sticks or similar materials, that you
Absolutely.
can create really really complex structures, and this is lovely.
I mean, there's quite a bit of engineering going on in there. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, a nice details, a good piece of engineering.
Okay, next one up is from Earthman Brick again.
Oh wow.
Okay, oh yeah, look, more Lego.
Ah wow, I was trying to figure out what it was made.
Okay,
Wow,
let's
that's
see.
super cool.
Okay, so we've got Lego, we've got a piece of cable tie. I have
Yeah,
no idea what the other things are.
that's so clever. And for what game is that made for?
Let me see. I'm not sure. Possibly either EZ6 or sorry, EZ6 Wasted World or Fallout to use it as an overland map, but I'm not entirely sure. So
I really like I love hex tiles, and this is pretty cool.
oh, thanks.
I actually saw something like this, but it was more like Catan style on Facebook like a few days
Aha.
ago.
So I'm told that these are also Lego.
You see, Lego is it's the nice stuff for this kind of details.
Yeah, Lego's amazing. Yeah,
You know,
yeah, please
I
go on.
know. Yeah. I wanted to say that I had Lego in my childhood, and in my adulthood I had Minecraft, which is for me it's like Lego, but I don't have to buy more pieces.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you cannot accidentally swallow Minecraft when you're trying to get two pieces apart.
Yeah.
Okay, next one up is from Tina Martins. There we go.
Oh wow,
It's
that's super original. I think I saw this on Reddit maybe.
I think she just posted them on the Tabletop Crafters Guild earlier today.
Then probably there.
Okay, and
Oh, really cool that it has a grid on it.
yeah, I think about that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's about 20 inches across it. It's a big boy.
Yeah. It's a big piece, but it's so cool and unique.
Okay, love the painting there.
Yeah, and the vegetation is really
Yeah,
cool. It's like
perfect.
super fluffy. I like the effect.
Okay, and because it's seen, she also made the crystals light up. Yeah, I think that is fantastic work.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay. So speaking of, you said you like modular terrain, right? Okay, this is from Mia Geeked, and it's a set of modular trenches.
Oh wow, so cool. Oh, I really like the walls. I think it's corrugated cardboard.
I'm not sure. It's, Mia, are you still in the chat? What are those walls made out of? Let me just bring up the next one. Here we go. Yeah, when Mia builds stuff,
Oh
she
wow.
builds them on an industrial scale. So,
Oh, so many pieces here. So you can make a really huge amount of configurations.
oh yeah.
That's so cool.
So I'm not sure if that's corrugated cardboard or corrugated plastic, but either way, it's
Well, the thing is that it looks so cool on the
oh yeah,
building.
absolutely. Aha, okay. Uh, corrugated paper.
Okay.
Nice, and this is really beautiful work. Let's look at another one. And the same thing we were saying earlier with the ground cover, having the
Yeah,
texture
yeah, yeah.
underneath it and having layers of stuff on top.
Yeah, exactly. This makes it look so realistic. A really good work here.
Let's see. Ah, okay. And Lauren sent him some pictures of the dry web sheets that he had made for the spider
Oh
webs.
wow.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
washing machine dryer sheets.
Yeah, this looks so cool. It makes an amazing effect. Yeah, way better than what I used. So cool.
Yeah, so yeah, anyone if anyone needs spider webs, spiders or creepy stuff, Doris is the person to talk to. They're the basement terrain. Wink. They're the basement terrain is not an official sponsor. He just scares us. Nah, just kidding. Love the guy. Okay, the spooky tree. So here he's just showing off here at this point.
Yeah, also the vegetation is it's really nice.
Let me zoom in on that. Oh, one sec. Because this keeps opening in the wrong window. I think that vegetation is, I think, from used brushes or stuff like that. And yeah, creepy trees with slimy stuff on
Yeah,
it.
so cool. Yeah, that's a nice setup for making a full table. Uh, and another spider adventure. So players will have a bad time dealing with the wand of setting fire to everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've always got to have stuff to set fire to. Okay, so more from Mia. Okay, this is a work in progress of those trenches we were seeing earlier. Okay, so this is the corrugated paper over there.
Hmm.
And let's see. Okay, more modular stuff coming up.
I love modular stuff. It's the best, I think.
And
Oh, cool.
yeah, I believe that Mia agrees with what you said about building things in batches.
Yeah. Wow, cool. So yeah, it's amazing what you can do with just hills.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can make an entire warboard, and you also have a lot of different heights to play. And yeah, you can change this flat surface into something that it has a lot of strategy and a lot of possible ways to place minis and do whatever you're doing with your game.
Yeah, and I mean,
So nice.
if you can stack them up like this, especially, I think that's
Hmm.
really important because then once you can stack two layers up, you can build pretty much anything.
Yeah, completely.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And okay, ground cover, which is super important. Maybe not so much in stuff like Warhammer or Warhammer, sorry, Middle-earth strategy battle game, but anything where you've got missile fire, this kind of stuff is super important.
Yeah, and also it looks even if it's not an strategic component for the game, it looks more variation into your table,
True, yeah.
especially if you use this if you use a mat or something, a grass mat or whatever. If you add a bunch of this scatter, you make like you add a lot of variation and yeah, and coolness to the table.
So evolution is gaming saying this is the best part, seeing cool people make cool stuff you never thought you needed. No, we need all the terrain. All the terrain.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, here's another big boy. Again from Mia Geeked.
Oh wow.
I remember she built this for a post-apocalyptic crafting challenge a few months ago.
And all of this is a built-in batch, like at once.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty amazing,
That's some,
and it's also
that's
super good
some,
looking terrain.
it's an industrial level of production, but it's really high quality.
And it's so cool how he used the colors, because if I had to make something like this, I wasn't probably so creative, and I make the rust look for everything. But here the colors are used in a way that it's so cool, because everything looks rust, but it has a lot of variation. And
Yes, and it looks like it was pulled together from different places to make it
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's
It does add
so
a
so so
lot to
it,
it.
it tells a story also,
Yes, absolutely.
which is also something that is really important. Oh wow.
Okay, and the next one is from Meredith from Scatter Terrain, coming up. There we go.
Oh nice.
Got berries, we've got a pig roasting over there. I hope it's a pig at least.
Ah, so cool. Yeah, I really like the. And now I don't came up with the name, but with these flags. Um,
The standards?
yeah, standards. It's super cool, and if you have something in your game like, yeah, like noble houses, like I was telling before,
Yes, yes,
or
yes.
factions or something, you can just adding a bunch of them, and you will make like super clear that this place is controlled by, or it belongs to this faction, and it's something super nice to make. The thing is that if I had to make something like this, I had 12 houses right now, so and I cannot make one for each house. I have to make a set like this, like 4 6 standards, and yeah, this is a lot. But yeah, it's cool, and it it give a super cool vibe to the terrain.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, like you said, I mean, having one for sorry, a set of 12 for every faction would be a bit crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and the fire effect is so cool also.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
Uh,
Meredith, is that only paint or do you have an LED under that? Because knowing her, it could go both ways. The feasting hall of the Celestial Orcs. Okay, let's see if she answers. But in the meantime, yeah, the two setups are pretty cool.
yeah, now we realize that he used free bets for that forks, like it's a pretty cool idea. I use it yeah, I use that with Lego when I was a kid, to represent swords, because
Okay.
it has the exact thickness for a Lego hand.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I use it a lot because I made like some my fantasy D&D stuff with Lego back then.
Okay, and yeah, Meredith is saying that fire effect is just paint, no LEDs.
It's a really cool painting then.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, I think that was the last of things. Beautiful work, everyone.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of cool craftings out there. It's really nice to see what other fellow crafters are doing, and it's always an inspiration.
Okay, and I don't know if you have any other projects coming up that you would like to share with us apart from what you were telling us earlier, but definitely looking forward to see the watchtower. And yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up soon. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Karl, for having me here. It was I spent a really nice time talking about craft and all the stuff we love. It was
It's
a
been
lovely
a
time.
pleasure talking to you. And yeah, I mean, if you want to join us for the crafting challenge in a couple of weeks, you're more than welcome. It would be
Yeah,
good to have your work over.
absolutely. Send me the details, please.
Will do. Okay, everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. Luckily, the electricity has been kind to us so far, so okay, we managed to get to the end of the stream finally without interruptions. And yeah, next week we'll have Dr. Noel Bajer with us to talk about bread and crimes. So see you then. Okay, and people are still also giving their congratulations for the 1,000 subscribers. So everyone, thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.